Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today there are great news for all those of you waiting for a study level long-haul Boeing for our simulator. A new developer has just appeared on the market and announced that they are developing just that to be released in the year 2026. Now that is quite the announcement, so today's video is going to be dedicated to finding out as much as we can about this new developer, what we may expect from this product, and who this developer actually is. But let's go ahead and start with the basics. So just now a new website has appeared from a developer calling themselves VectorSim, and they claim to be developing a Boeing 787 to release this year. Now, going a little bit further down on their website, they're making quite some bold claims. Namely, they say that they have already been working quietly, deeply and obsessively for a long time, and mostly they claim that they exist to build the best aircraft in flight simulation and that their vision is the best long-haul aircraft in flight simulation. Now, this is quite the high bar that they set for themselves, especially since they say that their focus is on authenticity, system behavior, and long-term excellence. Now, that means they will be competing with markets of PMDG, of INI builds, and perhaps at some point Phoenix, most definitely in terms of quality of the aircraft, competing with Phoenix. So that's quite the high stakes, and those are quite the high claims for a developer like this. Unfortunately, at this moment, there isn't all that much more information available as to who this developer is, except for a little bit of marketing talk, where they say like, hey, we want to do the best thing possible, which obviously any developer would do. Now, they do give us one heads up though, that's that at FS Weekend, coming up in approximately 1 month from now, they are going to share more details of their upcoming Boeing 787. Well, and that's about everything we can find on their website, so definitely sounds very intriguing. However, I gotta admit that it also left me a little bit skeptical. So, as a little bit of background here, I've been beta testing flight simulator add-ons for the good part of the last 15 years, and in that time I gained quite a bit of insight into development of complex aircraft, first with Aerosoft and their Airbus series, and then later on helping PMDG with their Boeing series, including long-haul Boeing aircraft like the 747 and the 777. So, obviously speaking, that means I have a bit of an idea how long it takes to develop an airplane like this. And for a new developer to come around and say that they are going to release an add-on in the PMDG field of quality within this year means that they must already be quite far in their development. Now, from ground up, we are talking 3 to 4 years to actually create an airplane here. We are even talking about 1 to 2 years if you already have an older version of that same aircraft for a previous platform. But if you need to do everything from scratch, then it does take quite a bit more time. So, naturally speaking, only finding posts like this on their Facebook page left me a little bit baffled, because, well, I just couldn't imagine, like, okay, now you have this huge announcement, you're claiming that you're going to do the best long-haul aircraft for the flight simulator, but you have absolutely nothing to show except for a single image? It does seem odd in terms of marketing that you would just share, you know, that one image over here, and then say, like, in a month from now we're going to talk about more. That seemed rather strange. So I started digging a little bit, and the first couple of clues as to what we can expect are coming from their Discord, with question like this, where somebody asked which previous projects those people from Vector have already worked on. And there is a person named Ellie over there. Now, Ellie says that she's worked on DCS World, P3D, Flight Sim World, FS20 and FS 2024 products, and in the past 3 years, over 23 aircraft, small and big, which again kind of sounded strange because normally it takes 3 years to develop a single aircraft, and Ellie says that she worked on 23 aircraft projects, all the way from a Jenny or a Goose up to an Airbus. Now, a couple questions further down, Ellie says that she will answer more in the Q&A at FS Weekend, and that in the last 6 years she's worked on some of the top companies in flight simming and worked on some very unique and challenging aircraft, to quote her. Now, obviously I started digging a little bit, and going by the name Ellie, it's not too hard to find whom this person actually is. Now, I don't want to share a LinkedIn profile over here, but if you just do a little bit of research, then you will quickly find some pieces of information there. And namely speaking, we're talking about Elise Christopher over here, who used to work for both OrbX as well as InnyBuilds, and has left InnyBuilds 9 months ago and then joined Gaia Simulations. Now, we all know Gaia. They're the guys who have built this absolutely beautiful Boeing model over here. I mean, go to the Gaia website, they're working together with PMDG, then you go into their photogrammetry and research, and you can find a beautiful Boeing 747-400 cockpit. That probably gives us an idea of what's going on in the background over there, and whom Gaia is and what they're working on. Gaia have also done a lot of absolutely fantastic airports and projects together with Asobo, in terms of what you get with the sim updates and world updates and stuff like that. So those are the people behind Gaia. A huge studio, I think 200 something employees, and they're doing a fantastic job. And this Ellie is working or employed with Gaia according to her LinkedIn profile. So even if you compare the logos, like Gaia here, compare that with the Vector logo over here, they are kind of similar. If you look at the way those stripes are here in the V, or if you look at the way that that E and that T are shaped, kind of similar, aren't they? Like we do find those over here in the Y in Gaia as well. So if Gaia, a huge company with massive amount of employees, is working on that PMDG 747 project, which we can fairly certainly deduce over here, and no, I don't actually have any insights over there that I would be sharing over here, then we can probably deduce that they would be working on a model for a Boeing 787 as well. And then we would have this Ellie, or Elise, not sure how to call her properly, who is then probably working on some of the systems. Now, if you go over their entire Discord, I don't want to be showing like their entire Discord conversations over here, then you will find that they have been working on the project for like a year now, maybe a year and a half. So that makes a total development time of 2.5 years for a Boeing 787. Kind of interesting. Maybe a little bit ambitious if you ask me. As mentioned earlier, in flight sim history you're normally looking at a little bit longer development times for study level aircraft, but I think this gives us a little bit of an idea of what to expect for this upcoming Vector Boeing 787. So developer used to work for OrbX and InnyBuilds previously, now employed at Gaia. Gaia, absolutely known for fantastic modeling jobs in the flight sim history, and a lot of you can access many of their models through the free flight simulator updates. So I'm expecting beautiful visuals over here. System-wise, I'm not quite sure as to what we can deduct from the developer's past here. because, well, we all know the Builds aircraft. I absolutely do love the A350 and also the A340, but I would probably not classify them as the best long-haul aircraft in the simulator when aircraft like the PMDG 777 are still around. They are superb aircraft without any questions, but I think it's quite obvious that Builds is aiming for a different system depth and a different audience with their aircraft than PMDG are with theirs. So we gotta see into which direction this is going to develop, but this is pretty much the background that we can find out about these new guys, Vector Sim, and well, from here on it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to present at the FS weekend. Certainly quite some potential in there, especially if Gaia is involved. And then we just have to see how things are going to turn out on the system, the flight dynamics, and the interface parts of the project. Very much looking forward to this. Now, I'm not making up hopes that it is going to be able to compete with the likes of PMDG, but especially considering this development time. But nonetheless, I'm very positive that we are going to get a Payware 787-9 Dreamliner, and that it is actually going to be a thoroughly fun project to enjoy, even if it turns out to be the level of fidelity that you would get with an average Builds aircraft. That would still be a hugely fun project to operate. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know if you have already collected any further information. Share it in the comments below. Let me know what you think about an announcement like this. And now I'm really looking forward to engaging with you guys in the discussions below. Thank you very much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. And then I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.